It's another early start for me this morning in Hong Kong. I'm at Central Hong Kong Station and I'm going to be checking in my bags in the city before I go to the airport, and I will be flying an economy and premium economy to Taipei to see whether it's worth the upgrade. As we head down to the Airport Express platform level, I just want to point out how important it is to have a good airport connection. Hong Kong does it so incredibly well, and as you can see here, once you exit the gate, the taxi stand is right there for your next connection. Anyway, we're off to the airport. The whole trip is advertised as 24 minutes. It took just under half an hour until we arrived. When you step off the platform, you go onto this ramp that leads you up to the check-in desks. We already dropped our bags off in the city, so I just did a little bit of plane spotting and then went in through customs and then immigration. There's plenty of things to do at Hong Kong Airport, and although you won't get to go into the lounge as you're not flying in business class, you can see many things on your walk to the gate. You can play a game of giant chess, see these two guys here, or you can sing along to the next right thing from Frozen 2. We get to the gate at around 9:50 when boarding's supposed to start, but amidst all the cancellations and delays with Cathay Pacific at the moment, we don't actually get on the plane until about 10:15. Aboard the Airbus A350, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. The IFE system's a big upgrade from the Boeing 777, and the seat has plenty of features, including storage for your phone, tablet, the table you can pull out, and plenty of legroom. For context, I'm about 1.8 meters or 6 feet tall. I entertain myself with the two cameras before we pull away from the gate behind schedule. We sit on the taxiway for another half an hour before we actually take off and fly eastwards across Hong Kong towards Taipei. Our pilot was quite literally redefining the term "sending it," so we got served food almost immediately. Considering the meal on this flight used to be a sandwich or a wrap, I was actually quite impressed with the honey soy chicken and rice. The rice was slightly dry as you'd expect on a flight, and the chicken was actually pretty good, along with the metal cutlery, which I was not expecting. The sauce was also a little bit salty, but I mean, what can you expect from an in-flight meal? A locked door and a quick flush later, the lighting in this toilet was actually a little bit better than the Boeing. It obviously had the coat hanger, full-length mirror, and the tap was also a little bit newer. Several buttons to control the temperature and a sensor instead of a handle. The soap dispenser was also there, although there are several bottles next to the sink if you prefer that too. I come out of the toilet and jump into the bulkhead premium economy seat, which is actually the seat I'm supposed to be flying in. It's a little bit wider and it's got a leg rest, and the table comes out of the side as shown here. It folds out, and I'm most impressed with the fact that it's flush on the left hand side to the armrest, and you can push it forward and backward to adjust as needed. The remote control pops out of the side of your seat, and the remote itself is a new design that I haven't seen before. There's also a little drinks table for a welcome drink. Under the middle handrest you'll see buttons for reclining, a leg rest, and a foot rest, as well as the headphone jack. Speaking of the headphones, you get a pair of noise cancelling headphones, which are actually quite nice. There's also two power supplies and two USB plugs, plus your life jacket in the middle. In front there's plenty of legroom, although there is no stowage here for takeoff and landing. We land at Taipei behind schedule, but it's still quite a nice airport. The downside, however, is the long wait time for immigration and the lack of infrastructure development in the past few years. The train connection into the city isn't quite as good as Hong Kong, and the airport station platform is awkwardly narrow for an airport station. The train itself is quite satisfactory, as is the station in the city and the connection to its metro system. Departing Taipei is a different story. I wasn't recording at this time, so I'll just show you a photo of a 1.5 hour long queue at customs and immigration. I'm sitting in premium economy again on the way back, although this time I've chosen a window seat and a row behind the bulkhead. We probably take off away from Taipei and back to Hong Kong. The cabin itself is only 4 rows, but it's a very private and intimate space compared to economy. Again, the pull-out table sits flush with the opposite armrest, which I'm very happy about. This meal here was pork with rice, and it was slightly better than the chicken on the way to Taipei. The vegetables were slightly over, but the pork was nice and soft and not overly seasoned. Again, on the other side, you'll see the buttons as described below, and the bonus of sitting behind the bulkhead. Storage space in front for phones, tablets, and the seat pocket. Again, the legroom is more than ample and very comfortable. The leg rest isn't very useful if you wear large sized shoes, since you'll be hitting the top of the seat in front of you, but it's quite nice if you're in the first row. The recline is very generous, and you'll see there's also a reading light next to your headrest. Soon we see views of the racecourse and Victoria Harbour before we land in Hong Kong again. The only difference between this and economy is the seat itself, so especially for a 2-hour flight, I wouldn't say it's worth the upgrade. I still don't have an outro.